येन भूतले वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतः पदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं स अग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तां सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमा ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णप्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लङ्घयति गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणम्। Hare Krishna, welcome. We are in the last part of the Ishopanishad, practically the last shloka. We will begin the discussion today. Let's recite these two important verses. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Ishavasyamidam Sarvam Yatkincha Jagatyam Jagat Tena Tyaktena Bhunjita Magrida Kasya Svidhanam. So we have seen so far close to 17 mantras. This is the last part of Ishopanishad. This is the part of prayers. So these prayers are basically two kinds here. The first kind of prayer is seeking the darshana of the Lord, asking to remove that effulgence so that one can see the beautiful face of the Lord, the form of the Lord. That effulgence is actually the Brahman covering, the Brahma Jyoti, the glare. Any confusion, Hare Krishna? No. Okay. Is this audible to everyone? Clear? Hare Krishna, say again. Not very clear for me also.
No, it is not clear. I mean, I was coming, but it's not coming clearly.
It's clear?
No, I think so. The speaker is having some problems, so therefore.
Okay, then maybe you should call the BVRB devotees. You can wait, because otherwise
Sorry.
we can wait if the audio is not good. You can ask the BBRB devotees to come and help. There is no point in having with not good sounds. Huh? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Is it better? Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Yes, bro, it is clear now.
Okay. So I was telling that this last part of Ishopanishad is of prayers, the two kinds of prayers. The first one is prayer to remove the covering, which is Brahma Jyoti, about around the Lord, so that one can witness that beautiful form, the face of the Lord, the Mukham, the beautiful Rupam of the Lord. We saw that in Mantra 15 and 16. Mantra 17 and 18 are specific prayers for the time of death. So here the devotee is praying at, "Oh Lord, I did what I could do in devotional service with so much of distractions, so much of deviations, yet trying to serve you in the possible way. Kindly help me, guide me. Please shower your mercy on me and guide me." So that is the prayer in Mantra 17, which is actually at the time of death. He says, the devotee says that, "Let my body be burned to ashes. Let the air inside merge into the air universal. And let whatever devotional service I did, oh Lord, please remember them," like that. So Prabhupada says in Mantra 17 discussion that there is no need to pray for reminding the Lord of one's devotional service. Hare Krishna.
Actually, I wanted to ask that if can you take orals right now, because we two devotees have to attend Vyas Puja at our counselor group. So is it possible, Guruji?
But all others will be waiting.
So is there any other alternative for our
You
orals?
can do sometime after your Vyas Puja. Give me a call through Krishna Prabhu. I will tell when I am available. Okay.
Okay, sure, Guruji.
So, but it's not right to stop everyone at this time.
Yes. Okay, Guruji. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
So I was saying that mantra number 17 is actually a prayer wherein a devotee prays, reminding the Lord of his devotional service. So Prabhupada says that there is no need to pray like that. The right understanding is that Lord knows every small service a devotee has done, and he gives eternal benefit by that. So that Prabhupada clarified in mantra 17. So today we will enter mantra number 18. So all of you please have your books in front and open mantra number 18. I am showing up on the screen. What I show on the screen is always secondary. You should have the book in front and mark things there. So text number 18. Agne naya supatha raye asman Vishwani deva vayunani vidvan Yuyodhyasmajjuhuranameno Bhuyishtham te nama uktim vidhema. So in mantra 18, the devotee is praying. He is addressing the Lord in very special words. He says, "O Lord," he addresses the Supreme Lord as fire. "O Agni." Is it that he is praying to Agni Dev? No, no. Agni Dev is a demigod. But here he is addressing the Supreme Lord himself as Agni. There is a specific meaning for it, which Prabhupada will clarify. "O Agni," O Supreme Lord, who is like fire. Naya. Naya means take. Like there is a word in Sanskrit called Nayati, from where comes Nayaka. Means leader, one who leads. So Naya, Agni, Naya, please lead me, O Lord, in the right path, Supatha. Vishwani Deva Vayunani Vidwan. You are the Supreme Lord of all the Lords. There is nothing that you don't know. Vayunani Vidwan. Yuyodhi Asmat. Yuyodhi Asmat. Can someone see the word to word meaning here? Yuyodhyasmat. This is the important word here. See in your books, what is the meaning of this? Say in mic.
Sorry, Pro, could you repeat the question again?
I said, what's the meaning of the word Yuyodhyasmat in your book? Word to word meaning. Check it.
Not audible at all. From us.
Kindly remove. Kindly remove. So he is also asking to remove something. What is he asking to remove? Here he is not asking to remove effulgence. That has happened. But now he is asking to remove Juhuranam. What does Juhuranam mean? See?
On the path.
Hindrances. Hindrance means any difficulty, obstacle, something that stops us. Hindrances that hinders us. Oh Lord, please remove anything that is stopping me in the path towards you. Kindly lead me in this path. Take me ahead. I offer you Bhuishtham te nama uktim. I offer you thousands and thousands, innumerable of obeisances. Nama uktim. I offer, nama means offering respects. So he is basically saying, please lead me, please remove difficulties in this path. I offer you profuse respects. Read the translation.
Satisfied to for the senses. Falling into the ground at your feet. Oh my Lord, please lead me on the right path to reach you. Since you know all that I have done in the past, please free me from the relation to my past sins, so that there will be no hindrance to my progress.
I'm not able to hear it's very not clearly. I'm able to make it, but I don't know whether you are all able to hear me.
You are audible, Prabhuji.
Okay. Okay. Fine. Thank you. So the translation said this is a prayer. So that's the last prayer the devotee offers, the last prayer in this particular scripture. He is basically praying, oh Lord, I am dependent on you. You have to help me progress in this path. I am fully dependent on you. You have to lead me. I am blind. I have so many difficulties in my path. I can't cross over them on my own. You have to help me cross them. I offer you respects. That's the only one thing I can do. So he is expressing that full dependence on Lord. That part comes out in this translation. So let us read the purport. Kindly start reading.
So by surrendering to the Lord and to by His causeless mercy, we can progress on the path of complete self-realization. The Lord is addressed as fire because He can burn anything into the ashes. Sins of the surrendered soul.
So why is Lord called as fire here or Agni? That is the meaning here, right? Why is that so? He can burn anything. So for fire, there is no distinction. Anything one puts in fire, it burns. So that's why Lord is called as Agni here. Actually, all the Devatas' names, be it Agni, Indra, Varuna, Vayu, Brahma, all these names are actually the names of Supreme Lord. They are the names of Supreme Lord. Those names are actually serving as posts. They are posts like minister posts. But actually those functions are done by the Supreme Lord only. Just like the president or prime minister, he empowers the prime ministers below and they conduct the functions. Similarly, the Supreme Lord empowers the jivas to act with certain potency, which he himself gives them. So when there is a word like this, O Agni, yes, it is Agni. The Supreme Lord Krishna can be called Agni because he can burn everything. Oh Indra. Like there is a word which is, uh, you are our Indra. Like Vrindavan Vasis, they say, you are our Indra. That Indra may be the Indra for this material world, but you are our Indra. They don't want to even say that you are the Supreme Lord. They say, you are our Lord. You are the one who protect us. You are the one who delight us. We don't care anything for that Indra, be he any powerful. So, like that, the devotees, they understand that Lord is the Supreme. huh? So, in that sense, the Lord can be rightfully called by the name Agni, Indra, Varuna, like this. In fact, our acharyas like Madhvacharya, they explain that all these names, when a devotee takes, be he Indra, Varuna, Vayu, he remembers Supreme Lord. So there is nothing wrong in calling the names of devatas, but what do we understand when we call, that he matters. So it goes ahead now. Can you read ahead as described in the previous mantras?
As described in the previous mantras, the real or ultimate aspect of the Absolute is his feature as the personality of Godhead, and his impersonal Brahma Jyotir feature is a dazzling covering over his face.
Mhm.
Creative activities or the karma kand path of self-realization is the lowest stage in this endeavor.
Mhm.
As soon as such activities slightly deviate from the regulative principle of the Vedas,
Mhm.
transformed into vikarma or acts
Mhm.
against the interest of the actor.
Mhm.
Such vikarma is enacted by the illusion living entity simply for sense gratification, and thus such activities become hindrances on the path of self-realization.
Ah, see, that's interesting. So what is told here is that generally the way to realize the Supreme Lord is through the path of Karma Kand, Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, and then Bhakti, you know. But this path, which is the gradual path to realize, is very risky because at any time, even a slight deviation from this path will make one fall into sinful activities. Yes. And that sinful activities, those activities, one thing is one gets reaction for those activities. But more dangerous thing is that they breed, they give or they put some sinful mentality in a jiva, by which that jiva continues doing those activities, so which is far dangerous. So such kind of mentalities which arise because of these activities, which is because of slight deviation from karma kanda and all, they are the hindrances. You remember in the shloka there was a word for hindrance. What was that word? See in the shloka. One Sanskrit word meant hindrance. What was that? Huh? Juhuranam. Yes, correct. See this word. Juhuranam. Yes. So Prabhupada is explaining what is the Juhuranam or hindrance in the path of a spiritual practitioner. It is the sinful activities, the sinful mentality, which is basically disobedience to the Supreme Lord. You may remember what is the root of sin. We saw in Ishopanishad only many purports before. Any of you remember what is the root of sin?
Lust.
Uh, in the purport of Ishopanishad only it's there. This is one of your most important question for closed book. The root of sin is deliberate disobedience to the laws of Lord. So when one disobeys the laws of Lord, thinking he is independent, he wants to enjoy, he doesn't care for Supreme Lord, that's when sin actually happens. Sin is not just in the activity, but in a mentality. So Prabhupada says that kind of mentality is a hindrance. And such hindrances are destroyed. Supreme Lord is capable of destroying such anything into ashes. See? He is called as
Hare
Agni.
Krishna.
Yes.
Bro, I had a question.
Yeah. Just let me complete. Okay. So,
Yes, bro.
so I was saying that the Supreme Lord is capable of burning anything, destroying anything, anything that is not useful or auspicious. Huh? So, a devotee, if he happens to fall into such kind of acts, what should he do? He should approach that Agni, that Supreme Lord who is Supreme Agni. He can destroy everything into ashes. Huh? So, that's the indication here given. That's the instruction given here. And how does one approach that Supreme Lord? For that, there are two paths to approach that Supreme Lord. One is called a gradual path, another is called a quicker path or swift path, which will be the description from here. But before we go, what was the question?
No, bro, actually, I got my answer when you read the further thing. My question was if in Bhakti also such hindrances are there, so then how do we approach it?
So surely hindrances are there in any spiritual path. The hindrances come because of the practitioner, you know, because he has a certain history, a baggage, due to which he finds it difficult. Actually, to say the path of bhakti is considered as the most pleasing path, so sukham, uh, and it is very quick path to spiritual realization, perfection. But because the devotee or the practicing devotee, he may have some such kind of mentalities which he is struggling with. He may find difficulties. But the solution is also the path of bhakti only, wherein he all those obstacles are destroyed. So let us see those two kinds of path: gradual path and swift path. Can you read self-realization? Kindly read.
Self-realization is possible in the human form of life, but not in other forms. There are 8.4 million species or forms of life, of which the human form, qualified by Brahminical culture, presents the only chance to obtain knowledge of transcendence.
Mm.
Brahminical culture includes truthfulness, sense control, forbearance, simplicity, full knowledge, and full faith in God.
Mm.
It's not that one simply becomes proud of his high parentage,
Mm.
just as being born the son of a big man
Yeah.
affords one a chance to become a big man.
Uh,
So being born the son of a Brahmana gives one a chance to become a Brahmana. But
uh,
such a birth, but such a birthright is not everything. For one still has to attain Brahminical codification for himself.
okay, 1 minute. So what is explained here is the first type of path, which is gradual path. What is this gradual path? The gradual path is the jiva first attains a human birth, because of going through all those life forms, he comes to human birth by the providence, and then he starts cultivating what is called Brahminical culture. Brahminical culture. What is this? This means he has to cultivate these kind of qualities. What qualities? He learns to follow truthfulness, sense control, tolerance, simplicity, faith in God. Like this, he cultivates, he leads a life with such kind of qualities. And that qualities are not easily attained. Sometimes they take many lifetimes. So, a person who is following Brahminical culture, uh, he is given repeated opportunities in the future lives. And whatever he practices is preserved. It accumulates, accumulates, accumulates like that. And over many, many, many lifetimes, he will attain perfection. So he may be born in the family of, like Krishna told in, no, in some of the purports we read, like Krishna promises the birth in, what is that? Shuchi Nam, Shri Matam, you remember? He gives that kind of births for those who could not complete spiritual perfection in one life. So Shuchinam means a path, a life of a righteous Brahmanas, like that, where spiritual culture is that. So a person may be repeatedly born in the families where Brahminical culture is followed, and he may try to practice like that. He may not yet be coming in contact with devotional service to Krishna, but he is taking lifetimes and lifetimes of practice of this Brahminical culture. So even after he attains birth in such kind of families, he cannot assume himself that, yeah, he is already following those qualities. No, he has to voluntarily, very consciously act on those qualities. If not, then he is not called as a Brahmana. He is called as Brahmana in name, but not in action. काम के लिए नाम के लिए Brahman, but actually he is not Brahmana. So Brahmana is known by his qualities. What qualities? What qualities make a Brahmana Brahmana? What qualities make one?
His love and devotion towards the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
No. That's
Truthfulness,
right. That's the highest quality, but we just now read it.
truthfulness, self-control, simplicity.
These ones. Okay. So here he has not yet developed that unalloyed devotion to Krishna. He has begun that small, small steps. So first he develops these qualities, truthfulness, sense control, all that. And later he will become qualified to receive mercy of a Vaishnava. So like Prabhupada says here, you see, in Bhagavad Gita, a devotee or a practitioner is assured of taking birth in the family of good Brahmanas or rich merchants. You remember we read like this in the earlier purports also. Such births afford higher chances for self-realization. Even if one somehow is not able to take benefit, Krishna gives such opportunities again. So the point here is, it takes a long time. How long it takes, that is explained by Prabhupada. Can you read the regulative principles? Kindly read.
The regulative principle, as such, that one who follows them is promoted from the platform of creative activities to the platform of transcendental knowledge. After many lifetimes of cultivating transcendental knowledge, one becomes perfect when he surrenders unto the Lord.
Yeah,
This is the general procedure.
yeah.
But one who surrenders at the very beginning, as recommended in this mantra, at once surpasses all preliminary stages simply by adopting the devotional attitude.
So here came the other path also, you see. In the first path, it takes many lifetimes of cultivation of these qualities and knowledge. And he will come to the stage wherein he becomes faithful to surrender to Lord. So, Bahunam Janmanamante Jnanavan Mam Prapadyate, Krishna says in Gita. Many, many lifetimes afterwards, a very knowledge person, he surrenders to me. But one who, because he had faith on a devotee, he surrenders at the very beginning to Supreme Lord, he at once surpasses all these stages. What takes for a gradual practitioner without the mercy of Lord and devotee, lifetimes, many, many lifetimes, is attained at once, very quickly, by someone who, because of the association and mercy of Lord and devotees, he surrenders. He adapts devotional service directly. So Krishna says that Sarva Dharman Parityajya in Bhagavad Gita. You surrender to me, I will take care of all these difficulties. What difficulties he says in that shloka? Sarva Dharman Parityajya. What difficulties? Don't be fearful of these difficulties. I will take care of them. What are they? In that shloka, Sarva Dharman. Try to get it.
Refrain from sinful activities.
Sinful act. And those same sinful activities are pointed here also. Juhuranam, hindrances. We saw, na? What are the hindrances which Prabhupada mentioned in this purport? What name he gave technically? He called them by one name. A simple one Sanskrit word.
Juhuranam.
Yeah, Juhuranam. But in the purport, he explained Juhuranam means Vikarma. Did you notice that? Huh? Vikarma. What does Vikarma mean? Rishikesh Kunde Prabhu, what does Vikarma mean? Remember? Long back we studied.
So the things which are not favorable for devotional services.
Okay. Little more on that.
Means which should not be done. Things which should be forbidden is actually vikarma.
Who says that?
So we read it now.
No. Who says that it is forbidden or it is allowed?
The scripture says that it is.
Those activities which are against the scriptures, they are called vikarma. Those activities which are in line with the scriptures are called what? Huh? Say again. Karma. Karma, vikarma. I hope you know that another important word, akarma. Huh? So that is there in that purport. You should see that. Okay. So like this, vikarma is the greatest hindrance, which a practitioner is always fearful of, because sometimes without even intention, one will fall into them because of so much of temptation and past reactions. And there is so much possibility in this world to fall into sin. So what one should do? One should actually take shelter of Lord. One should surrender to the Lord. He promises that he will take care of all those hindrances. So Prabhupada points that out about how a Brahmana, he may take lifetimes, but a devotee, he quickly attains what a Brahmana attained, and he becomes in fact a recipient of the mercy of the Lord. That is the power of devotional service. Can you read this? A devotee automatically.
A devotee automatically attains the qualification of an expert Brahmana authorized to perform sacrifices, even though the devotee may not have taken the birth in a Brahmana family, which is the omnipotence of the Lord. One can make a man born in a Brahmana family as degraded as a low-born dog. He can also make a low-born dog eat a superior to a qualified Brahmana simply on the strength of devotional service.
So when we read this should not breed in pride. Just see, I am a devotee, I am superior to this Brahmana who is born in the family of Brahmana, but is not a devotee, like that. No. It should not breed in pride. It should not give rise to pride or arrogance. We should feel, oh, I have been given this opportunity. I should be very careful to utilize it properly. I should be grateful. And I have to be responsible to properly take it. So that is the special mercy. That's the potency of path of devotional service. So how does that Lord who promised like this in Bhagavad Gita, Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo, how does he actually protect? How does he give directions? How does he lead the devotees in the path of self-realization? Because this whole shloka is telling how Lord leads his devotee to the perfection. In all other paths, the Jivatma is on his own strength, be it path of karma, jnana, or yoga. But in the path of bhakti, surely the Jivatma has to show his desire, has to exhibit some effort expressing that desire. But most importantly, the Lord will take that devotee ahead. He will help that devotee to attain perfection. This is highlighted again and again. It came in two purports before also, and now also it is coming. How Lord guides the devotee, it is coming here. Read this, Prabhu.
Since the omnipotent Lord is situated within the heart of everyone, he can give direction to a sincere devotee, by which they can attain the right path. such directions are especially offered to the devotee who desires something else.
That's last line is very interesting. So, okay, we'll go to that. Before that, you see, the Lord being in the heart is the closest guide, the all available, always available actually, for guidance. But most often what happens is we cannot hear that guidance because of so many other voices inside. So we also need an external guide who can tell without any confusion. Even if we are deaf, he can show us that this is the way. That is the Guru. So Guru is Paramatma outside. Prabhupada told like that many times. Guru is the mercy representation of Lord. He is the representative of Paramatma. So here very clearly you may also see such directions are especially offered to the devotee even if he desires something else. Can someone explain it? Huh?
Roji, if we
Can you repeat the question?
The question is, here it is written in the purport, it is written, such directions are offered to the devotee even if he desires something else. Why will Lord give directions even if
Like
the
material
devotee is
desires?
desiring? Yes. Why? Yes, Prabhu.
it happens so that we sincerely try to practice devotional service, but
Mhm.
it is said in the Bhagavad Gita, the analogy is given. The mission is quite inside it, but when it comes outside, external, like the seashore, it makes like that. The devotee also has from inside the devotee is very attracted attached to the Lord, but from outside he might have some desires which so that in that context, if we say
Okay. Thank you. Okay, yeah, Vaman, so Prabhu, you tell. Yeah.
Provision like even material desires.
Material desires. Okay. So does it not need that only when material desires are fully removed, then only Lord gives direction like that? Is it not understood usually? What do you think?
no, I don't think
Yes.
it's that.
So here what it shows is Lord will guide even if the devotee has not become fully pure. It's not that Lord gives reciprocation or guidance only to pure devotees. No. Lord gives that reciprocation and guidance to anyone who has begun the path of bhakti. How much Lord will give, that depends on how much the devotee desires. Sometimes, because of staying in this world, momentarily, for some time, a devotee may become distracted. That's why it's mentioned, even if he desires something else. And even in that stage of distraction, the Lord will not forget that devotee. That is very special quality of Lord. So for that, Prabhupada quotes a very nice shloka. Can you read ahead? As far as others are concerned. As far as others are concerned.
God gives sanction to the doer at the risk of the doer. In the case of devotees, the Lord directs him in such a way that he never acts wrongly.
Never acts wrongly. So he quotes a shloka from Bhagavatam, very famous. This is spoken by actually Nava Yogendras while talking to a king called Nimi. So the translation we can read. The Lord is so kind. Read this.
The Lord is so kind to the devotee who is fully surrendered to his lotus feet. But even though the devotee sometimes falls into the entanglement of wicked acts against the Vedic direction, the Lord at once rectifies such mistakes from within his heart. This is because the devotee are very dear to the Lord.
So do you remember what was Vikarma equated to earlier?
Acts against Shastra.
Yeah, acts against Shastra. In this purport, Vikarma was explained as Hindrance. है ना?
Hindrance, yes.
Hindrance, correct? Hindrance. Huh? Now, that same word Vikarma Prabhupada takes and he quotes another shloka where Vikarma is mentioned and he says how Lord will actually rectify any Vikarma which is in a devotee. He says in this shloka, the Lord is so kind that even though devotee sometimes fall into Vikarma, even if he happens to face that kind of a hindrance, still, what will Lord do? Dhunoti. Very similar to the Hindi word dhona. Dhunoti. In Sanskrit, dhunoti means to clean. Dhunoti sarvam hridi sannivishtaha. Because he is in the heart, he purifies the heart, he cleans the heart, even made up of vikarma. So, sometimes a surrendered devotee, because of some momentary distraction, may go away. But yet, Lord will purify his heart even if he happens to commit vikarma. So, this is a very special mercy of Lord. So, do not blame a devotee who sometime may mistake, who may commit mistake momentarily. But this should not be taken as a excuse. Prabhupada wants that another place. So this does not mean a devotee take undue advantage of the mercy of the Lord like that. So Prabhupada explains further. Read this in this mantra.
In this mantra of Sri Ishopanishad, the devotee prays to the Lord to rectify him from within the heart. All is human, and conditioned soul is very often apt to commit mistakes, and the only remedial measure to take against such unintentional sins is to give oneself up to the lotus feet of the Lord, so that he may guide one to avoid pitfalls. The Lord takes charge of fully surrendered souls. Thus, all problems are solved simply by surrendering oneself unto the Lord and acting in terms of the direction.
In his direction. So now Prabhupada explains, okay, it was explained that Lord will purify, Lord will protect. So he gives what is called direction. So how does Lord protect or give directions? Let's explain further. Read such directions.
Such directions are given to the sincere devotee in 2 ways. By of the sense, scripture, and spiritual master. That is by way of Lord himself. It resides within the heart of everyone. Thus, the beautiful enlightened with Vedic knowledge is protected in all respects.
So, the Lord, at least by the external medium of saints, sadhu, scripture, shastra, and spiritual master, guru, sadhu, shastra, we say. That they are the ways by which Lord gives the direction. So, we should see them as Lord speaking to us. It is Lord who speaks through Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. It is Lord who speaks through Guru to us. It is Lord who speaks through sadhus. And when a person is purified, elevated, he can even hear the Lord within the heart. That is Paramatma. So Lord is there within, but because we cannot hear, Lord comes externally in those forms. Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. That's why Sakshad Haritvena Samasta Shastre, we say. So one is protected, even if one is in the stage of Vikarma, but because he has expressed the desire of surrender, he is protected by the means of Guru, Sadhu, Shastra. So one should take to that help given by Lord. So, oh, Lord will protect me. That means I can continue being what I am. No. One should take the help of Guru, Sadhu, Shastra. Means one should follow what they say. Try sincerely. Exhibit that sincerity by following, attempting to follow. And sometimes if happens that one falls away, still one is protected. There is no fear. There is nothing to become afraid of in that sense. So in that sense, Prabhupada gives that kind of assurance, hope for the one in the path of bhakti. So now, after knowing that Lord is the one who protects us in this path, but what does Lord want us to do? How can we progress? What does he want us to do? That is explained in the Bhagavatam or scriptures itself. What does he want to do? Can you read this paragraph? The Vedic knowledge is transcendental. Yes.
Vedic knowledge is transcendental and cannot be understood by mundane educational procedures. One can understand the Vedic mantras only by the grace of the Lord and the spiritual master. Yasya deva para bhakti yatha
Yatha
deva
deve
tatha guru.
Bravo.
If one takes shelter of the bona fide spiritual master, it is to be understood that he has obtained the grace of the Lord. The Lord appears as the spiritual master of a devotee.
Yes.
As the spiritual master, the Vedic injunctions and the Lord Himself from within all guides the devotee in full strength. This there is no chance of devotee to fall again into the
Mayar.
of material illusion.
Mayar. You know Mayar? What does Mayar mean? Sometimes there is a word called quagmire. Mayar quag. It's like a quicksand. Quicksand means sometimes in the rivers area, the mud will be so marshy, and anything which falls into it gets sucked below. If one tries to get up, he is more pulled below. Sometimes you will find animals stuck, and they are actually pulled into the earth, and it's so marshy, it is so wet that one cannot get out of that. And if he tries to get out, he is pulled in and he is buried. Actually, he dies. That's called mire or quagmire. So this material world is like that. The more one tries to get out on his own strength, he becomes stuck. But what is the way out? The way is the spiritual master, the Vedic instructions, and Lord within. They will guide a person. They will guide the jiva back to spiritual perfection. So what should be done? What should one actually act to? That is told in the last paragraph of this purport. That is specifically hearing and chanting about the Lord. Read this: hearing and chanting.
Chanting the glories of the Lord is itself an act of pity. The Lord wants everyone to hear and chant His glories because He is the well-wisher of all living entities. By hearing and chanting the glories of the Lord, one becomes cleansed of all undesirable things, and then one's devotion becomes fixed upon the Lord. In this stage, the devotee acquires the Brahmanical qualifications and the effects of the lower modes of nature. Passion and ignorance completely vanishes. The devotee becomes fully enlightened by virtue of his devotional service, and thus he comes to know the path of the Lord and the way to attain him. As all doubts diminishes, he becomes a pure devotee.
So there are these very famous 4-5 shlokas in the first canto, second chapter. You might have heard Shrinvatam Swakata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana. So these shlokas were so favorite of Prabhupada. Prabhupada writes them in his prayer on the ship Jaladuta. Those prayers are actually translated here. They are in simple English. They have given here. What does it mean? When a Jivatma desires to hear and chant the glories of Lord, the Lord who is within as Paramatma, he becomes active. He becomes very interested. So he starts cleaning the devotee's heart, cleansed of all undesirable. So he cleans. And when that cleaning starts happening, then all the Brahminical qualifications, the gradual path, all those qualities which in the earlier path one has to struggle to cultivate, they are manifesting because Lord is cleaning from it. And later the devotee, the Jivatma, becomes enlightened by virtue of his devotional service, and he becomes a pure devotee after all the doubts and all the impurities are destroyed. So like this is the path, swift path. Any obstacle is also easily dealt with, destroyed by the Lord. And the Lord helps so much. Just what is necessary is the desire to hear and chant the glories of the Lord. So that is the foremost thing. In fact, devotional service, there are many activities in devotional service, 9 activities. The foremost, the most important are Shravanam and Kirtanam. So Prabhupada is pointing that out, hearing and chanting the glories. So when one becomes very happily engaged in these 2 activities, then Lord becomes so very happy with that jiva's intention and action, that Lord purifies that jiva. He takes that jiva back to his place. He makes him a pure devotee. So like this particular mantra number 18, it actually tells how Lord fully guides that devotee to perfection. In this small purport, we saw some 4 essential points. Can you read, Prabhu?
Obstacles in the path of self-realization.
So what are the obstacles? Hindrances. What was the obstacle mentioned?
Hindrances.
Say again.
Sins.
Exact word is
Vikarma.
vikarma. Sometime a person may fall into them. So then the second point was discussed is
Gradual and swift path for spiritual completeness.
So what is the gradual path? Who remembers?
Gradual path means who takes birth in a family of a Brahmana, and then gradually he, after many lifetimes, he gets the knowledge, and then ultimately he surrenders to the Lord after.
Yeah. So he of course he gets the birth in the family of Brahmanas, but he also acts as a Brahmana. Like that he does many lifetimes. Then at the end he surrenders to Lord. So that is Bahunam Janmanam. What is the swift path?
Directly bhakti, practicing bhakti and immediately surrendering to the Lord and starting devotional practice.
Yeah. How that happens? How that happens?
How does that happen?
How does that happen? How does that happen?
We can say an association of devotees.
Because one gets association, it happens. In the gradual path, one has not got an association of devotee. That's why he has to take lifetime and lifetime of being born as Brahmana, going through all that difficult life of Brahminical culture, all that, many things. But in the swift path, one gets association of devotee, he surrenders to the Lord. So all that is quickly made up in the life of swift progress, swift surrender. Then third point we saw, read this, how does?
It's omnipotent Lord give directions to his devotees.
How does Lord give directions? Who remembers? What are the ways? 2 ways were mentioned actually.
First is Guru Sadhu and Shastra. Second is the Lord directly personally inspires.
Lord within as Paramatma. So Guru Sadhu Shastra and Paramatma. These are the ways by which Lord speaks to us. He wants to give directions. So he speaks to us through the mouths of gurus, sadhus, from the pages of Shastra, and also the Paramatma within. So lastly, what does Lord want us to do? What is there in that direction? What is the essential direction or instruction by that Lord?
Bhakti.
What is that? Fourth one?
Bhakti, hearing and chanting the glories of the holy name.
And chanting the glories. That's the essential thing. Of course, it's the path of bhakti. To be very specific, it is the path of hearing and chanting the glories of Lord. So like this, the mantras, total of 18, they take a jiva to the surrender of the Supreme Lord, to the path of surrender. That is actually path of bhakti. So if we have to see a whole big overview of Ishopanishad, I request all of you, whatever I am showing is actually described. But I want all of you, if you want, you can even mark it. So in the beginning, we saw the introduction and invocation. What was described? Read this.
Intro and invocation, 4 defects, 3 pranamas
Pramanas, not pranamas. Pramanas.
Importance of following Shabda Brahman, Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam and disciplic succession. Understanding completeness of the Lord in the Lord's creation, jivas, and third, illusory completeness and divine service to realize true completeness.
So we saw this. The first bullet point is actually for introduction. The second and third bullet points are for invocation. Purnamadaha, Purnamidam. So this was what was described by Prabhupada in the purport. Now the next part came of mantra 1, 2, 3. What was this about? Who remembers?
Mantra 1 was about Ishavasya, that is, Lord is the proprietor of everything.
Ishavasya principle. Read this.
Ishavasya principle and its application, and benefits of following and losing in not following.
This is what we saw in mantra 1, 2, 3. So when one has followed it, he has got so much benefit. He gets a desire. What desire? He wants to know about that Isha. Who is that Isha who has given this Isha Vasya principle? That is described in mantras 4 to 8. Read.
Vision, logic, speculation will not help in understanding the Lord. Spiritual vision, oneness shall help in understanding. Or what is that? Hey, Krishna Prabhu, please, should be cultivated. And qualities of Supreme Lord.
Yeah. So what will help in realizing or understanding that Isha? Spiritual vision, Ekatva, Anupashyati. You remember these words? So these are important to be cultivated. And finally, one realizes some qualities of Supreme Lord. What qualities were described here? Anyone recollects? Some names.
Sorry.
What qualities were described in mantras 4 to 8, the last part, mantra 8?
Qualities, we studied Asnaviram, Akayam,
Asnaviram, Akayam, Shuddham, Apapavidham. These are a few very important ones. There are total 9 of them. Then we went to mantra 9 to 14, which talks about knowledge and worship. Read this.
Absolute and relative in terms of knowledge and worship, and danger of following false knowledge and false worship.
Next.
I'm not able to see the down part.
Difference between, are you not able to see this? Difference between?
No, bro, could you please scroll it up a bit?
I can't scroll it, it's a slide.
So it is not visible to us.
It's not visible. Oh, I'm surprised. Okay. Difference between material and spiritual. That's the second bullet point. And the third one is cultivate both material and spiritual. We have studied all this. I'm just putting it up here in one place. So after this came mantras 15 to 18, which is of prayers. If that's not visible to the devotees at office, maybe Rishikesh Prabhu can read. Rishikesh Pandit Prabhu, can you read? Yeah.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah. Read.
Mantras 15 to 18, prayers for removing effulgence and revelation of Lord. Prayers for mercy and guidance, especially at the time of that.
So like this, the whole mantra, the Ishopanishad, which is having 18 mantras with the invocation and introduction, it's actually leading one to the path of bhakti. So Prabhupada's purports are very important in understanding these mantras, which actually give the real meaning to those mantras. So like this, we have completed. We tried to study this with the help of Srila Prabhupada's words. Whatever I tried to explain, I heard was based on the devotees' explanations, Srila Prabhupada's words, Acharya's words. So if there was any fault, know that it must be because of me only. If there was something good, then surely they are the credits for his actual teachers. Our actual teacher is Srila Prabhupada. So thank you very much. I conclude our learning here today for this Ishopanishad. You can all continue with the further course, that is Bhagavad Gita, from next class onwards. Okay. So thank you. I wish you that be consistent and maintain that consistency for the rest of the units and complete this study. We sometimes take so many resolves in life that I will do this, I will do that, I will do this, I will do that. Let this one resolve be there, that let me just go through this course. Me, how much ever difficulty it may be. Sometimes I get this, sometimes I get that. Then still try to be as consistent as possible and attend this course. Okay.
So actually, devotees were having a question and a request as well.
Yeah, questions
Even
surely we will
somebody-
take. Questions we will surely take. I'll
No,
pause.
not that one, bro.
Srila
They
Prabhupada
were
ki.
asking actually that will you continue with the Bhagavad Gita this thing as well? And devotees are
Surely our
requesting that
Kaustuv
you should
Prabhu will be
continue.
there. Our Kaustuv Prabhu will be there. Wherever necessary, I will surely come. So he will surely be there. That much I can say. But he is very good teacher. He knows how to even apply that all wonderfully. I'll come for certain units, but not really sure about what. Okay, so next week is your test, huh? Next week is your closed book test, I think, huh?
Next week, bro.
Next week. Okay. Thank you very much. Any comment or question before we end?
Yeah, how about you take the Bhakti Yoga section of Bhagavad Gita?
Anyway, there is still so much time. Don't worry. We'll do that later. Okay. Hare Krishna. Any questions online? I see 3 devotees here.
Prabhuji, I have one question, Prabhu.
Yes. Yes.
Prabhuji, what is as you said that karma हमें reflect होता है, right? And the vikarma is like not is according to Shastra, right? जो हम according to Shastra नहीं करते हो, it's a vikarma, right?
Correct.
So, जो जिनको वो विकर्मा के बारे में पता ही नहीं है, how like they will like go through on this phase, जिनके साथ फिर reaction उनके जो होते हैं, so how we can understand this?
Correct. Good question. So those who never came in touch with the sadhus or the shastras or devotees, how can we say that they are faulty, or what is the way for their elevation? Is that the question, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu.
Good question. Actually, sometimes we see a Jivatma's situation based on only one life, that is current life. But there is so much of history which we don't see. So the scriptures explain that the Jivatmas are given fortune of human life. So when they attain human life, if they utilize it properly, where there is so much of freedom, if they utilize it properly, and whenever by the fortune, by the mercy, they come across the scriptures, they come across some saintly devotees, that is their way actually. That is their way for becoming free from this bondage. If
But
they
Prabhu,
utilize it
like,
properly, that's their best situation. Yeah, you are saying something?
Yes, Prabhu. But like because of their past karma, even or their like unka, if they don't have any kind of what we can say, not even a small I don't remember that word. Ki,
You can say
Sikruti.
in
Yes,
Hindi,
Sikruti.
that's okay. Sukriti. Yes.
Security. So even they're not like coming in touch with a sadhu, shastra, or a temple. So फिर कैसा होगा फिर उनको?
Correct. See, our scriptures explain that the Jivatma, by his own desire, he falls into this ignorance. But because he chose to be in ignorance, his freedom becomes restricted. And later he is no more free to choose because of so much of influence of ignorance. So how it started? Because he chose to go in a wrong path. Now whatever has happened, but now what is his way to deliver? What is his way to become free? huh? That is only when a devotee intervenes. That's the only respite actually. You see how our life becomes transformed because someone came with some message uh, about devotional service. He inspired us, uh, be it any form, be it kirtan, be it prasad, be it some darshan, be it some way of appreciation to Lord. And that's how we began. We were not having a desire to choose devotional service with great clarity. No, no, no. It was not very clear where we were entering into when we started devotional service, is it not? But because the devotees intervened, that was the beginning of good fortune. So it is we should see that devotional service is attained because of fortune or sukruti, as you rightly told. And one should actually consider it as one's responsibility to extend that fortune to whomever we meet. Give some sukruti bits to all people, whomever we meet, because that will become mature into the path for becoming free from this karmic cycle for them. Is that helpful, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu, yes. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
So there is no cause which can be materially told for once coming into devotional service. No, no. It's only purely mercy only. But after receiving mercy, we should follow it properly to not lose it again. There comes a devotee's sincerity. How much he really wants to continue sincerely. That determines how much progress he will make. Like okay. Okay. Hare Krishna. Any last question?
No, Prabhuji.
No question from office. Okay, Rishikesh Prabhu and Praveen. Oh, Praveen Prabhu is here. Huh? Hare Krishna. Okay. Rishikesh Prabhu is, we are meeting last time before your next unit. Huh? Okay. Okay. Thank you. So thank you for all your association and kindly forgive me for taking this so long. It's my longest teaching unit this time. But nonetheless, I think it was a good time together. A lot of times it was online only. I am sad about it actually. But I was helpless. Sorry. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhu.
It was joyful for us too. And sorry because we disturbed you for so many times.
Understand. Okay. Okay, thank you very much.
Mukesh Prabhu is also apologizing.
Okay. So we will end the session today. Those who have shloka test can wait, can stay back, and others can log off. So we end here. So the tests are already declared. Closed book, open book deadlines are already announced. Go ahead. So shloka test will be done today, and that result will also be updated. Shri Ishopanishad ki jai.
Jai.
Prabhupada ki
Jai.
वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. हरे कृष्ण. कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय. हरे कृष्ण. Okay, who are there for shloka? Krishna Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji. We'll start with Vaman Rup Prabhuji.
Okay, he's there. Huh?
Prabhuji, actually, I'm going in one wedding. So, like, is there any like chance that I can give it to like Kaustup Prabhu in front of Kaustup Prabhu? Because
You
on
give him. You
also
give
I
him.
don't want to.
You have to talk to him. That's all. I don't have any
Yeah.
issue. You have to
Yes,
talk to
Prabhu,
him
I'll
and
talk
give to him. Okay, but do
Yes.
it before your maybe within 2 days you complete it. Don't delay after that. Okay.
Okay, Prabhu.
Okay. You talk to Kaustup Prabhu. That's fine.
Yes.
Krishna Prabhu, any other devotees there?
Yes, Prabhuji. We are having here offline.
We can start.
Oh, yes. So they can tell their name and if they know the norms, right? They have to close their eyes. Video should be on and start.
Yes, sir. We'll start with Shambro.
Hare Krishna.
Om Purnamadam Purnamidam Purnat Purnam Udachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnam Evavasishyate. The personality of Godhead is fully complete and perfect. So मतलब हिंदी में
हाँ चलेगा. Yes.
तो मतलब भगवान संपूर्ण सर्वसंपूर्ण है, लेकिन वो जो भी चीज मतलब देते हैं
हाँ.
फिर भी वो लेकिन सर्वसंपूर्ण नहीं रहते. मतलब उनसे मतलब कुछ कम नहीं होता, ना उनका संपत्ति ऐश्वर्य कुछ कम नहीं होता. मतलब वो सर्वसंपूर्ण नहीं रहते.
Very good. ठीक है. Next one.
ईशावास्य इदम सर्वम यत्किंच जग यत्किंच जगत्याम जगत तेन त्यक्तेन भुजित्वा मागृत कस्य स्वीधनम. All the मतलब all living and non-living things which are belong to this world are fully controlled and owned by the Lord. So one should accept only those things which are belongs to himself. Otherwise, he has to reject those all things which are not belongs to himself. Which are belongs to his quota, he should only accept those things. Which are not belongs to his quota, he should reject it.
He should reject it. Okay. Okay. So what is his understanding about other quota? What does he understand it as? वो क्या समझते हैं दूसरे के लिए जो भगवान रखे हैं?
मतलब हमें जो चीज चाहिए वही हमने लेना चाहिए. जो मतलब हमारे बिलोंग्स टू नहीं है, मतलब जिसकी हमें जरूरत नहीं है तो वो मतलब नहीं लेनी चाहिए.
हाँ, तो वो दूसरों के लिए भगवान रखे हैं ऐसे समझ के उसको हम नहीं समझते. करेक्ट. ठीक है. थैंक यू. थैंक यू ब्रो. हरि बोल.
थैंक यू ब्रो.
यस. हरे कृष्णा. यस ब्रो.
पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते. The personality of Godhead is complete and perfect, and because of his completely perfect, all emanations from him, such as this phenomenal world, are completely equipped as perfectly equipped as complete whole. Whatever
whatever is produce of the whatever is produce of the complete whole is also complete in itself.
Mm.
And uh, even although so many complete whole uh, so many complete whole so many complete whole so many complete
Units. Mm.
yeah,
Emanate from the
complete units complete units from him.
Ah.
He remains uh, the complete balance.
Perfect. Perfect. Next.
ईशावास्यम idam sarvam yatkinchit jagatyam jagat tena tatyena bhunjitam mam buddha kasya svitanam. इस ब्रह्मांड में जो भी सजीव और निर्जीव है वह सब भगवान के नियंत्रण में है और भगवान के स्वामित्व में है. अरे शांत बैठना. अब भाव हरि बोल डिस्टर्ब हो रहा हूँ. सॉरी.
ठीक है.
तो भगवान के स्वामित्व में मनुष्य इसलिए मनुष्य को उन्हीं चीजों का स्वीकार करना चाहिए जो उसके लिए आवश्यक है और उसके लिए निर्धारित है. बाकी जो भी चीजें है उसको मनुष्य स्वीकार नहीं करना चाहिए क्योंकि वो जानती है कि वो भगवान के लिए.
दूसरों के लिए भगवान रखे. थैंक यू आदिनाथ प्रभु. अरे तो अच्छा आपका हुआ नहीं था, मैं सोचा हो गया आपका.
नहीं हुआ था.
ओके करिए. यस. हाँ यस.
First, invocation mantra.
Yes.
Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Translation. This means the Supreme Personality of Godhead is complete and perfect. So whatever comes from Him is also complete and perfect. For example, this phenomenal material world. Though the Supreme Lord is perfect and complete, whatever emanates from Him is also complete and perfect. And then still He remains complete and perfect.
Perfect. ठीक.
First mantra. ईशावास्यमिदं सर्वं यत्किंच जगत्यां जगत् तेन त्यक्तेन भुञ्जीत मागृदाकच्च स्विद्धनम्. This means the Supreme Personality of Godhead, everything comes from which is living, non-living, which can be termed as animate or inanimate, comes from God. So a person who is living or sustaining in this world must accept what God has given to him, termed as his quota. And he should not accept other things which doesn't belong to him, knowing that those things may belong to other persons, jivas, or other persons or to whole supreme, that is Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Yes, perfect. Thank you.
Thank you, Broj.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Probably we had these many devotees only.
Okay.
I
So
think
total,
you-
how many are there? 11 are there. So far done. 11 total.
So I think 11, then 4 or 5 of them are still remaining.
So those two devotees which Sahil Prabhu told, na, he and who else?
I'll just confirm with them once if they are giving today.
Okay. So and that Prabhu, Vaibhav Prabhu will, Vaibhav Ram Prabhu will, Aman Prabhu will give Kaustuv Prabhu, na?
Yeah, he said, I'll have to confirm with Project. So
Okay.
yes. Good. Tried calling them, but it's not connecting. So I think then we'll continue. I'll ask them.
So you do one thing, maybe they can also give to our Kaustuv Prabhu because he's there only, no? Huh? I'm busy from tomorrow again. maybe. So they and Vaman Rup Prabhu, 3 of them. Okay.
Yes.
So I whatever 11 devotees test is done by me. So I will send that marks to for the updating. Huh? That's okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Hare Krishna. Thank you, Krishna
Hare
Prabhu,
Krishna.
for organizing and coordinating all this. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Hare Krishna.